When the MacBook Neo was announced, everyone said that it was great, that it was perfect and like the second coming of Steve or something.
This is really good.
There's no flex, there's no anything.
It's a very good device.
But I was the only one who had the guts to criticize it with a couple of jokes. To which everyone said, "Sam, you're crazy, you're wrong, and a little bit fat." Well, there might be a chance of that. A fat chance, as today's the day we find out who was right after all. Hi everyone, I'm Sam Tucker, and today we're going to be unboxing the MacBook Neo, or what I like to call the MacBook No. The new $600 laptop from Apple. So this only comes with 8 gigabytes of memory. I thought we all decided that 8 gigabytes wasn't enough. Apparently it was enough for Tim, but this one is the slightly upgraded 512 gigabyte version with the Touch ID. Let's see if we like touching this member. Oh, what? It doesn't want to let go. It knows who's about to review it. No, don't let Sam criticize me. Already the unboxing experience is subpar. So far, that's a tick in the Sam column. All right, this is the Indigo version. And all right, I admit it does look quite nice, okay? Although I am realizing that's not a shiny logo. There's the MacBook Air with the shiny apple and the dull apple to show people that this is a dull computer for dull people. What else do we get in the box? Oh no, it doesn't come with the charger. So we're only going to be able to use this laptop once, because once the battery's out, it's gone. Of course, we can't blame Apple entirely for this. I think this is an EU regulation where products aren't allowed to come with the features that they meant to. You know, I'm half surprised that this laptop doesn't come with a bottle cap attached. Frickin' EU. And you don't even get stickers, Apple cutting corners everywhere they can. And I see the two ports here, but there's no indication on them which one's the fast one and which one's the slow one, because it only has one fast USB and the other one's USB 2. I'm not sure which one's which. And for some weird reason, we got the headphone jack down toward the bottom. What's that all about? And of course the side firing speakers. I hope they fired whoever made this. No. What I want to do now though is to check inside this bad boy. Let's do some surgery that Apple wouldn't let me do even if I had a license to kill. So, of course, it's held together by the proprietary pentalobe screwdrivers. Heaven forbid you open the computer that you own. Can I open it? Whew, they put it together tight. Those people at the factory have strong fingers. Am I going to break it? Ah, hopefully that was meant to snap. Ah. Whew. So, we have here the battery. We have a little gap here where they probably could have fit a little more battery in there. But no, it's important to save money when you're Tim. Some trackpaddy stuff. All right, and everything is a little ambiguous. I've discovered that I don't really know about computers, but that doesn't disqualify me from being in tech. It didn't stop Tim, so why should it stop me? Well, we got a lot of interesting technology on the table, and one thing that works with all of them is this video sponsor. Introducing the all-new Mono PD200W hybrid podcasting microphone. All right, check it out. Right now you're listening to the onboard camera microphone, and this is the microphone from the MacBook Neo, and now with the Mono PD200W hybrid. What do you think? And because of the Mono's inbuilt noise cancelling, I could do a podcast outside if I wanted to. This is what it sounds like without noise cancelling, by the way. And because it's wireless, I could even pod on the other side of the river. Oh, Addy, I hope you can swim. Plus, its wirelessness means you can clear your desk setup from cable clutter and just plug in the USB receiver into your computer and you're ready to record in seconds. And even cooler than that is you can plug the receiver into your iPhone or Android, so you can pod anywhere, anytime. But remember, just like that Antler Boy from Sweet Tooth, this mic is a hybrid. So if you want to plug it in, then it's got USB-C on the back to plug it directly into your computer. Or go full profesh and plug it into an audio interface through the XLR port. Use the phone or computer app to fine-tune your sound and set your audio profiles, or use the onboard super knob to set volume, mute, and gain. So what are you waiting for? Check the link in the description to get yourself a deal on the Mono PD200W hybrid microphone. One finger opening test. All right, passes that. And there's the darker keyboard of the Indigo version, which looks okay, but in the nighttime, this of course doesn't light up. It's not the backlit keyboard. So it's meant to be popular for students, but how are they gonna write out their essays while they're having sex and drugs late into the night? Okay, I think I will choose the cock avatar. We're logging into our iCloud account and setting up the computer. I have to admit, I didn't notice the whole time that the trackpad actually moves. Although, ooh, it looks a little un-Apple-y how deep that can go in. See that? So, the screen is very bezel-licious, but at least there's no notch. I'm glad that they de-notched this one. Hopefully that trend continues on. So looking at the screen, you know, it seems to get bright enough here in the studio, I'll admit. Oh, look at that. I think a good way to test just how snappy this thing is to download Final Cut Pro and see if it can handle the project where I made fun of it. Let's give that a shot. Use other port for fast connection. So that's how you can tell whether you plug it into the Tim Cook couldn't be bothered putting a $5 port in here or not port. All right, let's put it into the quicker one. Final Cut's taken a little bit to load, but maybe that's just because it's the first time. When it's your first time, things are a little awkward and you know, you can forgive it for taking things slowly. It's loading up the project. Look at this. It's actually able to edit the video I made mocking it, but for this scene in particular where I got a lot of layers going on, it does slow down quite a bit, but you know, it's quite doable. If you're not doing a bunch of special effects and you're just doing like 1080p editing, it's actually not that bad. Memory pressure though, it's not happy about doing any of this. Let's compare this to a couple of other specimens we have, like this baby that came out in 10 or more years ago. This is the 12-inch MacBook. People say that this one is an iPad with a keyboard you can't take off, but this one felt like an iPad in your bag because it's so light and portable and looks nice. Yeah, it'll take you longer to open an app than the battery lasts, but those are the sacrifices you make for beauty. And all right, this one was a lot more expensive than this one when it came out, but if you just shut up a minute. Of course, we have a MacBook Air. This is the M4. Apparently the Air's screen is better than the Neo's, but from a casual glance, I can't really tell that much. They both seem pretty all right. Let's test out the keyboards now. Is the Neo keyboard good? All right, the Neo's feels fine. Feels just about as good as the Air's. All right, that's good as well. And let's have a look dimensions-wise. Little bit smaller dimension-wise. Again, not as small as the baby. And while we've got so many computers, here's another, the M1. You know, do you want to spend $600 on a new Neo, or do you want to spend $19 more to get yourself an M1? That has two fast ports on it. It has the backlit keyboard. It has the better VUTI trackpad, and size and dimension-wise, feels similar-ish. And that's that one compared to the M1. We're running out of table space for all these computers, but let us do a speaker test. We're gonna pick the same song that I know doesn't get copyrighted, and that's my one. There's ghosts outside, walking on the streets all day and night. Are they starting gangs and fights, or just keeping gardens nice? Soon they will learn how to drive, and that's why I fear for my life. These goats are walking a fine line between farm life and a farm crime. So yeah, the baby, very impressive speakers. Let me know which one you think is the best. All right, so let's see how fast these computers can launch Safari. 3, 2, 1, Okay, so it looked like the Neo was actually a bit quicker. The Neo shouldn't be quicker at this. All right, I don't want to be proven wrong just yet. Let's get the Brave browser. The Brave browser will do me nice. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Brave browser has my back. It loads a bit quicker on the Air. All right, but now for the ultimate test. Let's get everybody up. We're doing it. Okay, so for the most accurate and reliable results, we are gonna run the definitive test. This is, of course, SAMTIME. So we got them running on all the machines now. We'll start with the M1, only scores 393. Moving on to the M4 MacBook Air, this should perform better. Oh, but drastically, we're only getting a 98. Not to worry, the good thing about the SAMTIME test is you can actually run it again. Okay, and it is still worse than the M1. I still believe in the power of the SAMTIME test. Let's move on to the MacBook Neo now, see how this performs on SAMTIME. Well, that's to be expected, isn't it? The new Neo doesn't even get into triple digits. The Neo is terrible, and if you had any doubt, if we have a look at the original 12-inch baby, that scores a whopping 518. So there you go, everyone. It turns out that the baby is the best computer. Thank you very much, SAMTIME. Link in the description if you want to test it out yourself. But let's get to the less accurate SAMTIME test, just to be sure. Let's start it with the CPU multi-threads test. As you can see, the M4 Air is making the image, the Neo's a bit behind, so is the M1. Meanwhile, the baby is not quite sure what it's doing, doesn't realize that it's meant to be doing a test. Come on, baby, stop preparing. Now's the time. This isn't a test. Well, it is a test, but the test involves doing something, not preparing. The Neo has just finished 1,486 points. The MacBook Air M4 got 3,030 lots. It's double. So it does cost twice as much, but it does basically twice as good. Meanwhile, the M1, 1,800 points. So the M1 is a bit faster, at least in the multi-threaded test. So let's now test the single core performance. And the Neo scores 531 points in the single thread test compared to the MacBook Air, of course, 643, which is bigger. But surprisingly, the M1 only just finished now and only gets 428. So the Neo does do better in the single core test. And of course, the baby is still doing the first test. It's about halfway through that. So, you know, it gets the participation trophy. Well, all right then, this one has performed annoyingly well in the studio, so I think it's time that we get outside and see what it's like, in the real world. Let's go outside with the Neo. Trinity, what is it?
Agent Sam, I need you to send an email.
Oh, well that sounds pretty easy.
Neo style.
Neo style? Okay. And there it is, the MacBook Neo. All right, fine, it's not so bad. I will admit, I prefer it did come in the shape of the baby, the smaller, lighter, take it around with your baby, that's still doing that SAMTIME test, because this felt more like a super portable iPad compared to this one, which only costs as much as an iPad. So well done, everyone. Get one if you want, but don't come crying to me in a couple of years when 8 gigabytes isn't enough. Guaranteed Apple will slow this one down in 2 updates time. And counting. All right, stay funky, everyone. SAMTIME signing off. Subscribe today. Oh, we're running out of batteries on this camera. Come on, baby. I don't know how I thought I would understand what's happening in here, but here we are. Although Apple didn't reduce the price of this by the price of a charger or give me the option to buy one for like $5 or something, so screw Apple.